Hello, I just finished listening to The Wealth Choice Success Secrets of Black Millionaires by a guy called Dennis Kimbro. Um, Actually recommended by somebody else who I think earns 2 or 3 million a year and who isn't black, he's actually a white guy. Um, but really excellent book, brilliant book, in fact. One of the best books I've read or heard, same thing. It was all on Audible, this book, for a long time about wealth. Um, I don't read a lot of books on wealth anymore. I used to read a lot of them, but they're all pretty much the same. But this one, the Wealth Choice, the Success Secrets of Black Millionaires, I found fascinating. Um, why? Lots of good examples in it, lots of very good principles in it, lots of very interesting statistics in it, and when people think rich black people, they probably think, celebrities, sports people, because black people tend to dominate these fields, entertainment, music, sports. So this guy, Dennis Kimbro, actually, in his research, he excluded all of those. So these black millionaires are people who made money, outside of sports and entertainment and everything. But I thought it was fascinating. I thought it was really, really good. And some of the things that I remember first being impressed by the way, I recommend the book, 10 out of 10. One of the things I first remember from the book were some of the statistics where it compared black Americans to white Americans. Black Americans, although they're generally, as a population, much, much poorer, are a hell of a lot more likely to drive a Mercedes Benz. Um, Poor people generally watch about 7 hours of TV a day. A day! Where do you find the time? Whereas rich people generally don't watch so much TV, but they read a hell of a lot. Um, Read more. That wasn't even, subliminal advertising. Read more. Um, and yeah, a great book. I've just finished reading it. It's still kind of percolating, not reading, listening to it. It's still going around in my head. So what I'll do is I'll speed up my speech a bit to try and speed up my thinking, okay? The Success Secrets, it's actually got 7 rules of wealth in there. And these aren't necessarily in order, and I might not even remember all of them. Live within your means was the one that really got me. Live within your means. Try to save part of what you earn every single month. Um, this thing about black people being far more likely to have Mercedes Benz than white people. In the book, Dennis Kimbro, he talks about, the desire to look rich is stupid. Why go and spend £500 on a Gucci bag just to make Gucci rich when actually you could have that £500 yourself? One of the things that they said in this book, that was said in this book, sorry, was that very wealthy people tend not to look rich because they're not trying to look rich. And actually, if I think about it, well, there's 2 people I've known or met worth over £100 million, so I'd consider them very wealthy. And of those 2 people, the one who's managed to hold on to all their money dresses just like a normal person. There's no really expensive, designer watch or anything. They don't drive a Ferrari or anything. Whereas the other one who had that kind of money was into the designer watches, Ferraris, Rolls Royces. I'm not sure how much of their money they've got left. But anyway, rich people, it said, poor people buy designer labels. Yeah, it's a £500 Gucci bag and everything. That's where all their money's going, or the designer clothes. Wealthy, middle class people buy cars. That's where all their money goes, and homes occasionally. And the rich, buy cars, and the rich people buy assets. This is something that Gary Stevenson, look up Gary's Economics on YouTube. He talks about that. A really good book. Another one was, I mentioned the savings bit. The stories in there are really fascinating because you wouldn't have thought, would you? I certainly wouldn't have thought that, over 100 years ago, there was a street in Tulsa which was called, which is part of America, which was called the Black Wall Street, where some of the nation's wealthiest self-made black people lived. And then I remember seeing a documentary, this is unrelated to the book, about how a fire was started there and all the businesses burned to the ground. And guess what? Nobody showed up. The fire brigade didn't show up because they didn't want black people to be rich. Yeah. But the other thing about, black people certainly faced, and maybe now to a far lesser extent, thank God, face more barriers to success than white people. There is still racism outside certain fields, sports, entertainment, and everything. So it's a really, really brilliant book. The stories of people who have made it in literature, the stories of people who have made it in business, in finance. One of the rules in this book, by the way, is thou shalt own thy own business. You got to own your own business. You got to save money. Don't forget looking rich. Rich isn't about what's on your. I'm not even worried. What's on your wrist or what's parked in your drive. Rich is about how much money have you actually got in your bank, in your investments. Your wealth is your money. There was another really good book, I can't remember, which I think I've reviewed on here. It was, wealth is the money you can't see. So the guy who's walking down the street is probably richer than the guy who drives past in the Lamborghini. That kind of stuff. Obviously not, but that's just to make a point, The guy who's walking down the street who could buy a Lamborghini but decided to hold on to the $250,000 is wealthier than the guy who bought it, right? Another of the really good chapters in there was having faith. You got to believe in yourself. If you absolutely believe in doing something, you're a hell of a lot more likely to succeed than the people who try, get a few knockbacks. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, shit, I'm going to be poor for the rest of my life. Decide you will not be poor, or decide you will be rich. Yeah, according to Simon Sinek and lots of other people, the brain cannot process the negative. So not, I won't be poor. I won't be poor. Say, I will be rich. Some of the poverty, some of the unimaginable poverty that a lot of the black millionaires and some of the billionaires profiled in this book started with, it'll make your skin crawl. Lights being turned off because they can't afford the electric, sleeping on couches, being homeless, losing everything, starting late. A lot of these people start young, One of the things that Kimbro did in the book was surveyed thousands of millionaires and some billionaires as well, and looked at common opinions and then gives you the statistics. 70% of the wealthy black people I interviewed say this, say this, say this. What really got me was this thing about not living lavishly. What really got me was that the average black multi-millionaire is 52 years old. The average value of their home is less than $250,000. And then there's these people who watch TV or whatever, I don't know, whatever crap they watch, and they think, oh, a millionaire has a 12-bedroom mansion with 4 garages. No! Unless they owned it outright. And sure, a lot of them have very, very lavish houses, but look at the overall picture. That's science. Look at as much data as possible. My goodness, talking about science. I've heard about this guy, Ben Shapiro. I've never seen anything to do with him, but there was one that came up on YouTube recently. What an absolute twat. Someone was trying to interview him, and rather than answer the questions, he was like some upset school child, Well, I think you're a right-wing leaning this and that, and I thought you were a journalist, and I think what you're doing is casting me as a barbarian. No, he just asked you a fucking question. Grow up and answer it. These guys are the people who are pundits in America. God save America. Never mind, God bless America, you morons. Sorry, went off script. Not scripts, topic. Really, really good book. Look, The Wealth Choice by Dennis Kimbro, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires. Excellent book. If you want to manage your money better, read it. If you want to get rich, maybe, then read it as well, or listen to it as I did. 10 out of 10. Another 10 out of 10. Another brilliant book, and it's available on Audible, which I like because that allows me to listen to it whilst I'm walking or washing dishes or ironing clothes or all these other things that you have to get done. Okay, that's another one. Hope you enjoyed it.